Brad Pitt has finally broken his silence on the long and tumultuous divorce battle with Angelina Jolie, a saga that has dominated headlines for nearly a decade since Jolie filed for divorce in 2016. After years of legal wrangling, emotional upheaval, and endless speculation from the media and fans alike, the 61-year-old Oscar-winning actor has chosen to speak out. But instead of unleashing frustration or airing grievances, Pitt offered a surprisingly calm and reflective take on what has been one of the most scrutinized celebrity separations of modern times. In the June issue of GQ magazine, where he was promoting his upcoming race car movie, F1, Pitt addressed the conclusion of the divorce proceedings with a sense of acceptance. When asked about the end of the battle, he didn't dramatize it or inflate its emotional weight. Instead, he remarked that the finalization was not a monumental moment for him, simply saying, "No, I don't think it was that major of a thing. Just something coming to fruition, legally." This minimalist statement stood in stark contrast to the highly publicized and emotionally charged nature of the divorce that involved complex custody issues, accusations, and legal entanglements. Pitt and Jolie, who famously met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith and later married in 2014, share 6 children together: Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, and twins Knox and Vivienne. Their breakup and the subsequent fallout impacted their family deeply and thrust the children into the center of media attention. Yet Pitt, perhaps weary from decades in the spotlight, chose not to linger on the past or highlight the drama. He acknowledged, almost with a sense of resignation and humor, that his love life has always been a matter of public fascination. "It's been in the news for 30 years, bro. Or some version of my personal life, let's put it that way," he told GQ, hinting at the continuous scrutiny he's endured since rising to fame. Now seemingly at peace, Pitt resides in Los Angeles, where he lives with his current partner, 32-year-old jewelry executive Inez de Ramon. Their relationship has become a point of interest for fans and tabloids alike, especially after rumors began circulating about a potential breakup. But those whispers were recently put to rest as sources close to the actor confirmed that the couple is very much together and thriving. Pitt and de Ramon were both spotted in Los Angeles last week, albeit separately, after he returned from filming his latest movie, Heart of the Beast, a survival thriller shot in New Zealand over the course of nearly 3 months. According to an insider, Brad is happy to be back in Los Angeles with his lady. He is very in love with her. They are doing better than ever. The breakup rumors are not true at all. They are solid. The GQ interview offered more than just personal revelations. It provided insight into Pitt's mindset and his approach to fame, aging, creativity, and relationships. When GQ writer Daniel Riley brought up the couple's red carpet appearance at the 2024 British Grand Prix, speculating whether it was a strategic move to promote F1, Pitt laughed off the suggestion. "No, dude, it's not that calculated," he responded with a laugh, suggesting that his life isn't governed by media strategies or PR optics. He added, "If you're living, oh my God, how exhausting would that be? If you're living with making those kinds of calculations, no, life just evolves. Relationships evolve." Pitt's words indicate a more spontaneous, grounded philosophy, an evolution of a man who once found himself under the brightest spotlight in Hollywood. The upcoming film F1, in which he stars, seems to have reignited a spark in him. When asked whether making the film offered him a kind of refuge from the endless media attention, Pitt dismissed the idea with a touch of philosophical realism. I don't see it that way," he said. "Fame," he explained, "has always been an annoyance that lingers in the background. It's been an annoyance I've had to always deal with in different degrees, large and small, as I do the things I really want to do," he explained. "So it's always been this kind of nagging time suck or waste of time if you let it be that. I don't know. There's a weariness in his tone, one that comes from decades of public attention, but also a kind of hardened peace. He added, "Mostly I feel pretty. My life is fairly contained. It feels pretty warm and secure with my friends, with my loves, with my fam, with my knowledge of who I am, that, it's like this fly buzzing around a little bit. This portrayal of Pitt as a man who has found stability in his relationships and self-awareness contrasts sharply with the media's depiction of him during the Jolie years. A man caught in the eye of a storm. He appears to have turned a corner, distancing himself from chaos and leaning into creativity and companionship. Speaking about F1, he shared that the experience of making the movie gave him a sense of creative renewal. Man, I've been doing this for a while and was wondering, do I have more stories to tell? Do I have anything to add to this? Is there still any excitement I can find from this? It just reinvigorated the whole thing again for me. These words don't just reflect his passion for acting, but suggest a deeper introspection about purpose and relevance. Pitt's openness about his current state of mind, his career, and his relationships shows a man in transition, but also in control. He's not trying to craft a narrative or defend past actions. He's simply stating facts and moving forward. The drama of the past, no matter how scandalous or painful, is now treated as a mere chapter in a much larger story. A story that still has many pages to be written. In this new phase of his life, Brad Pitt isn't chasing headlines or trying to correct misconceptions. He's simply living, letting life unfold, and rediscovering joy in his work, his home, and his love. As he reflects on the path behind him and looks ahead, he seems grounded in the reality that life's most profound moments are often the quietest. And in this stillness, there is clarity, purpose, and an unexpected kind of peace. As time moves on, Pitt appears more focused on who he is becoming rather than who he was, finding his voice not through outbursts or grand declarations, but through the measured, thoughtful words of a man who has lived, learned, and chosen growth over resentment. This outlook has not only shifted public perception, but also redefined how he views his place in the entertainment industry and in the lives of those he loves. Expanding further, Pitt's story is a microcosm of the greater challenge that fame presents. The struggle to maintain identity amidst external noise. With an entire generation having grown up watching his movies and following his personal highs and lows, there's an enduring sense of connection fans feel toward him. But that connection comes with a price. For years, Pitt bore the weight of public opinion, especially during the intense scrutiny of his divorce and custody disputes with Jolie. Every court document, every leaked allegation became fodder for sensationalist coverage. Yet, through it all, he remained largely silent, perhaps not out of guilt or shame, but because silence itself was a form of resistance, a way to maintain ownership over his narrative in a world eager to write it for him. That silence has now given way to something more powerful, calm reflection. As Brad Pitt steps further into his 60s, there's a noticeable evolution not only in how he carries himself, but in the types of roles he chooses and the way he interacts with the world. His involvement in F1 signals not just a return to blockbuster filmmaking, but also a re-engagement with storytelling as a means of exploration. He is no longer just the heartthrob from Thelma and Louise or the charming rogue from Ocean's 11. He is a man with decades of life experience whose work increasingly mirrors the complexity of his own journey. Whether through the contemplative character studies in Ad Astra or the nostalgic, genre-bending performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Pitt's roles have matured alongside him, offering audiences a deeper, more nuanced version of the man they once knew. And that growth is not confined to the screen.